Hello, I'm Steve and this is lesson 2 of the second unit in step 3. In the previous lesson we discussed places and being familiar with the questions regarding the topic. Today we'll be looking at some common questions about people. The most common question asked is a description of a person, such as a family member, friend, teacher, or even a celebrity or an influential person who had an impact on your life, as well as a person you met or you want to meet, and a person you admire or want to get to know. Some subtopics require you to talk about a person's appearance, personality, or character, the amount of time you've known the person, and what makes the person special. Talking about people is quite a difficult task, especially when we want to mention positive attributes of a person. You're only given a little time to think of your answers and to flawlessly connect them. This is the purpose of the 1 minute preparation time in part 2. The 1 minute preparation time is when you brainstorm to successfully cover all the questions given in the task card. Taking down notes is the key to a well-constructed answer. Planning what to say helps you think in depth about the topic and allows you to organize your ideas to improve fluency and coherence. The examiner will not look at your notes, but you have to take down notes in a way that you understand. Here are some guidelines. Divide your paper into 4 quadrants. Write your answer for each sub-question in its matching quadrant. For example, your answer for the first sub-question can be written in the first quadrant. For each sub-question, you should write only 1 or 2 words to use as a prompt. Write nouns, adverbs, verbs and adjectives. In short, you should not write sentences, just keywords. You need to use cohesive devices in your answer, but you do not need to write them. Look at this cue card question. Here is an example of what the notes for the cue card question would look like. With a few words, you'll be able to speak fluently and coherently. Of course, you still need to make an introduction and a conclusion when you deliver your answer. Now that you've learned how to take notes, here are some additional tips for you. Refer to the list to organise your answer. Focus on feature 3 because it's more abstract and advanced than the other features. Utilise the entire 1 minute in taking notes. Be flexible with your notes. When you start talking, you might say something you haven't written in your notes. Continue talking about it as long as it's relevant, then go back to your notes. Here are the things that you shouldn't do. Don't write for the whole minute. Think before you write. Don't write long sentences. Don't spend too long choosing your topic. Don't tell the examiner you are ready to begin. Do not waste the time you could use for thinking. Don't waste your time by not writing anything. Even if you have thought for a minute, you might get nervous and end up forgetting details. Do not read from your notes the whole time. Give your notes a quick look and then look at the examiner. Always remember these guidelines to have useful notes during your test. Now let's look at some questions about people. This is a common cue card question in part 2. Feature 2 of this question will help you describe a famous celebrity. To expand your answer, you can mention one of his or her roles that made an impact to viewers, but be careful not to go off topic. Feature 3 can be answered by justifying your choice and giving some examples. For this question, the notes will look like this. Taking down notes will make it easier for you to answer the question. Refer to it as you speak and you'll be able to fill the 2 minutes. This is a common cue card question that many would wish to answer because it's easy to describe someone you really know. A part of feature 2 asks you to talk about the things you do together. Write the details in your notes so you'll not get lost while answering. If you ever remember something while you're delivering your response, it's okay to provide it, as long as the details are still relevant to the topic. Observe how this question was answered. This sample answer addressed all the questions in detail. There were several activities mentioned which made the answer long enough to fill the 2 minutes. Although taking notes is simple, you might need to practice doing it and referring to it as you speak. The key is to think fast and write the keywords. Describing people is a common task in part 2, and this usually involves people you know. They may ask you to describe someone in your past, so practice describing people's appearance and characteristics. Remember to practice taking notes and describing people to improve your chances for a high band score. Until next time.